Happy Monday, everyone. Carmen Broxman here with Choose Joy with Carmen. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Arvada, Colorado. And in today's video, I'm back again for another episode of my Mo Joy Monday. So this card is based on a card that I saw created on the paper Pixie, and it creates 6 cards with 3 pieces of cardstock and 1 sheet of designer series paper. It also, in that video that I watched, created a card holder. And at the end of this video, I will link to a video where I showed that card holder and how I created mine. I don't show how I created it, but I want to show you the one that I created to hold 6 cards. And it was in the playlist for Call Me Crafty Owl's August 2022 sheetload of cards. But what I love about today's card is that it's going to show both sides of this gorgeous designer series paper. And if you've watched me for any length of time, you know how much I love Stampin' Up's designer series paper because it is so beautiful. But there are times when it breaks my heart that I have to cover up one of the sides. And that's not going to be the case in the card today. And up here in the corner, I will link another video of when I made a card that showed both sides of the designer series paper. So let's get started with today's card. This is the designer series paper that I'm choosing today because we're approaching fall. And this comes from the Rings of Love. And it's one of the papers that you can earn during Sale-A-Bration, which is only... it's coming to an end. We only have a few more days before the end of the month when Sale-A-Bration will end. So if you love this paper, and what I love about it is there's paper in this pack for various seasons. But we're going to be using this one today. And so let me go ahead and pull out my paper trimmer so that I can show you what I'm going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our card base prepped and ready. And basically I'm going to, hopefully you can see this. Let's see if I'm in the camera. I think good enough, as much as I can be. So we are going to score this at 4 1/4. And let's see, right there's 4 1/4. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. Then we are going to move it to the right at 3 1/4. And then we're going to cut that. And so you'll have this extra piece right here. And then we'll go ahead and rotate it and cut it at 5 1/2. And then that'll make our card base. So now we have 2 card bases here. So then the next step is we're going to go ahead and cut our designer series paper. So I'm going to bring in my designer series paper and I'm going to cut it in 3 strips of 4 inches each. So if you had a directional paper, you would want to take this into consideration. But this really can be really any way. I think I'll maybe do it this way. I'll turn it this way. So I'm going to cut 3 4-inch strips. So let's do that. There's our first one. And then our second one. And then we're going to go ahead and turn it and cut it at 5 1/2. And this is why if you had a directional paper, you would need to make sure that you were cutting it the way you need it to be, because this is going to be on your card this way, right? So 5.5, and then you're going to have this little piece right here left over, which I like to cut in half and then use on the inside of my card on a, you know, on a basic white or very vanilla, whatever you choose to use on the inside. So let's go ahead and get this finished up, cut, and then we'll continue on. Okay, so now we have our 6 pieces of designer series paper that's going to create our card fronts. And then here's the extra strips, and I will off camera cut them in half and put them on the cardstock for the inside of my card. And then I am going to go ahead and finish up off camera cutting my other 4 bases for my cardstock. So I'll be right back. Okay, I have it all cut up. So now you're going to take a card base. You're going to take your bone folder and you're going to make sure your crease is creased nicely. You're going to grab one of the designer series paper. And if you notice, it's not going to meet the crease there. But you'll just basically make sure that it meets on the edges here. So I just kind of tap it down like that. And then if you want to make sure it stays that way, you can just put it up in the corner of your scoreboard or something, or just hold it in place. And then you put a line of glue down this side of the card stock, and then on the edge of this piece right here of the designer series paper, and then you'll fold it over, and then that'll make your card base. And this is what it looks like right here. So now we have our card base, and I'll go ahead and cut some. I think I'm going to use, I don't know if I want to use very vanilla or basic white. I'll decide that. And I'm going to go ahead and cut some of that. I'm going to cut these in half so I can add a little bit to the bottom. And then I'm going to decide how I want to decorate the front. So I will be right back when I get the inside done and pull out my supplies for what I want to do for decorating the front. Be right back. Okay, one of the ways that I want to decorate the card front is I really like the Poppy Parade color that's in this designer paper. And I like having that extra pop. I just think the crushed curry is beautiful, but I think if we add a little bit of Poppy Parade on there, it's going to really make the card pop. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of Poppy Parade and I have run it through the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. And so what I'm going to do is cut it down into strips so that you'll see various, I mean, you're not going to see, you know, the embossing folder all over, but you're going to have a little bit of that embossing on each of these strips, and I think that is going to make this card pop. So let me go ahead and cut this down and get the strips attached here, and then I will be back. Okay, I have those all attached, and what I think is so cool about it is each one is going to be different because of the way the embossing folder is. You know, it doesn't go all the way up, or it doesn't fill up the whole area. So that's why I went ahead and just did it in strips, and each card will have a different look. So there's that one, and we'll just kind of go through and see. You can just see how much you'll see on there. Hopefully you can see that. And that, but at least it has a little bit of texture on that strip that I really like. It gives it in its leaves, so it matches perfectly with the paper. So I just think that is really cool. This one didn't have much, but it's still nice, just at the bottom here, but it's just enough. So then what I did was on the inside, I decided to use very vanilla, and I found a leaf that kind of was similar to the one in the designer series paper, and that leaf is part of this set, the Hello Harvest, that one there. So I went ahead and stamped the crushed curry and the poppy parade to match the designer series paper in that bottom, and there's that extra strip that I had left over. So when you do it like this, you don't have any designer series paper left over at all, and that's what I love about it. And then I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone. I have a friend who wanted some thinking of you and praying for you cards using this card layout. So I found a thinking of you in this set here, and I haven't found a praying for you in the current stuff, so I'm going to probably have to go back into my retired stack and find what I want to use. But what I'm going to do is probably make 3 of each. And here is the what I did with the sentiment. I just off stamped that same leaf in here. I off stamped it twice before I stamped it on a piece of very vanilla cardstock. And then I stamped the thinking of you in the poppy parade. And then I used my favorite punch, the double oval, and I used this part up here to punch that out. And then I went to my, what are these called? The layering oval framelits. I wanted something, a little something to put around here. And so I went ahead and used those framelits to die cut out some poppy parade. And then I'll just basically take and remove that release paper, and I will probably put this down here in the bottom right hand corner of my card. And I don't know if I forgot to look to see if those framelits are in the current catalog, but if they are, I will put it in my supply list that I put on my blog, and you'll see the products that I used for the card today. So I'm not going to do the rest now, but I'll probably do 3 of the thinking of you, and then I got to find a praying for you and do the other 3. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that card. I really like it. Like I said, I like to use up my designer paper, and I love that I can see both sides of it. So that is my favorite thing about this. Alrighty, there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all who follow me on a regular basis. And if you are new to my channel and you liked what you saw, I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends and give me a thumbs up and all that good stuff, because that really helps my channel. Okay, well, you guys all have a great week, and we will see you in the next video, which I don't know that I have another one coming out this week. But if I don't have another one this week, then we'll see each other or talk to each other in my next Mojoy Monday video. Alrighty then. Well, have a great week, everyone, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.